pissed, but I gotta go face him.
Well, first go see your steward before the villagers decide to burn me at the stake. I mean, if you want to, Vulcan.
It'll probably turn into an interrogation pretty quickly. Try not to make it worse for yourself. And don't kill anyone, for starters. Especially if he's wearing red.
That seems reasonable to me, for the moment.
A good day to you, soldier. I do believe that today is your lucky day.
I should warn you. Try to rip me off. I'll rip bits of you off.
No. I would never do that.
I wanted to ask you. Right, I'm leaving.
Here we go. Another one of these hick refugees. There's nothing for you here.
Call me a hick one more time, and I'll be using your face as an anvil.
Let's all remain calm, shall we? Please forgive my error. With all this commotion and all the thankless tasks I find myself confronted with, I often find my attention to detail slips. So, what can I do for you?
Show me what you have for sale.
Gold. So vulgar to work with. So wonderful to own.
I'd rather stay here if you don't mind.
Why? You're not planning to give me the slip by any chance, are you?
I don't like the idea of getting locked up by the Red Scribes again. It might provoke me into a loss of my legendary restraint. And I'm sure that you don't want to have to scrape another one of your employers up off the ground.
Well, it's true that I prefer they remain in one piece. All right, fine, you can stay here. But if you do get it in your head to run away, I will find you. You won't like it when I do.
I'm trembling, but yes, I'll wait here.
So, did you find this famous beast?
Found it and killed it. But don't hold your breath waiting for its fur for next winter, because I didn't bring it back for you.
Excellent news. I knew the village could count on you.
Actually, not so excellent. Alis is dead.
Dead? But no, that's not possible. Are you sure?
When it doesn't move and it doesn't breathe and it looks at you with an even stupider gaze than one of your guards, that generally means it's dead, yeah.
I demand that you show some respect. The Red Scribes are a precious help to us here. Aeolus was a useful man, a good man, and he was under your care.
Oh, please. Your good man had a few skeletons in his closet. He was controlling the swamp bees to keep people away. He had you all fooled. Aeolus was even ready to kill his own daughter to cover up his secrets.
What nonsense is this? How can you make such ridiculous accusations? Am I to understand he died at your hands?
He was killed by his own magic. I had nothing to do with it. If you ask me, the guy was not much better than the Ice Lords. And as for my accusations, I'm just telling you what I saw with my own eyes. Don't believe me. Ask his daughter. She'll confirm everything I've told you.
You can be assured that I shall. What do you know of this prisoner? If Aeolus held her captive, she must have been dangerous.
I don't know much. Edwin isn't exactly the talkative type.
Well then, you must find out immediately. As of now, she is your responsibility. I should deliver her to the Red Scribes without any further ado, yet, after what you have told me, I no longer know what to think. She will be given a fair hearing. Until that time, she never leaves your presence. If there is the least incident, I promise you, you shall answer for it. And there is no prison here, in case you had not noticed.
Okay. Sounds fair to me.
However low your opinion was of Aeolus, his death is a great loss for Valvanor. He was meant to be looking into a most disturbing matter.
All right, I can see where this is headed. What do you want?
There is no guarantee that you have the necessary skills to handle this matter, Freeborn Blade. Even Mirana is flummoxed.
What is it? An epidemic?
That's exactly what I'd like to know. Several of the villagers have been behaving curiously of late. They have become distant, taciturn, and barely react to the world around them.
They're just hungover. You'd know if you got drunk more often, and you look like you need to.
I believe there are a few here who know the difference. It's something else. They seem very concentrated, as though they are observing us. I feared some kind of sickness and that it will spread throughout the village.
Got it. I'll slap him around a little. That should wake him up.
My goodness. That's not exactly what I had in mind, but I must confess the results interest me more than the methods.
Well, that's gonna be my method, so let's leave it at that if you don't mind. I'm not helping you because you made puppy eyes at the captain. The mercenary salutes you, knight. I'll leave you.
Leave me, Vulcan. I don't want to talk right now.
No, I'm staying. We have to talk about what happened. Putting it off until later will change nothing.
You could at least respect my grieving.
You're whining because you just found out your dear daddy was a son of a bitch, right?
Don't say that! He was my father!
Right. Your father who tried to kill you.
I don't believe he would have done that. He must have had his reasons. Maybe he wanted to scare me.
His reasons? I wonder what kind of reason he had for holding a woman prisoner in the swamps and leaving her to starve. Even I find that disgusting.
She was dangerous. She killed him.
I'm not saying she did the right thing, but if it wasn't for her, you'd be dead. You gotta stop hiding from the truth. Your father hid a lot of stuff from us.
I swear to you, I don't know. I don't know why he had that woman prisoner, and I don't know what happened at the temple.
Yeah, okay. So you don't want to know what he was plotting, what he was hiding from us.
Of course I do. It's the only way I can hope to understand what he did.
That's good. So now we have to dry your tears and pull it together. Since you obviously didn't know what he was up to, you are the only Red Scribe that I can trust. If you want to avenge your father, or even understand him, you're gonna have to help me. But I warn you, I can't stand crybabies, got it?
Yes, I get it. Your bluntness is eloquent. But don't worry, I'll be there when you need me.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
See you later.
Vulcan, you must help me. The prince is dying.
Well, I'm happy to see that my talents as a doctor are finally being recognized.
There's no doubt an explosion would cure him of all his ills forever. But I was actually thinking about your connections with the Red Scribes. If you could speak to them, it would save me having the prince's death on my conscience.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a friend of theirs. But yeah, I can always give it a try. I have a few questions I need to ask you. Elves are pretty rare. I haven't had the chance to talk to many. Can you tell me more about your people?
We are born in the trees, eat only seeds, and we spend all the livelong day singing.
I get the feeling you're fucking with me.
Perish the thought. Well, it's just that we aren't that different from you humans, despite what one hears. Our civilization is obviously a bit older, so we have had the time to learn from our mistakes. We don't really live in the same rhythm as you do. We move a little slower, and most of us are prone to having at least some respect for the past. This is the reason why we never destroy anything, that we prefer to build on top of things.
I've heard that you are immortal.
That joke has lived for 15 generations. I will never get tired of it. No, we're not immortal. We live long lives, though. Much longer than you. We are resistant to poisons, rotten food, and toxic body odor, apparently. Unfortunately, these things do not make us immortal.
Don't elves ever make war?
That's an impression we like to give other people. The fact is, we do go to war, just never against each other. You must understand that, given our long lifetimes, battles are fairly futile. This may well be what has motivated the choices of our king concerning the Ice Lords. But we certainly know how to fight, and you'll see proof of that soon enough.
So it's the prince who gives the orders?
The word orders may not be the best one. We do not submit nor obey easily. Our kings are a reference, wise men who can point out the way. They tend to guide us rather than give us orders. But to answer your question, it is his father, the king, who is the leader of our people.
Who is the elf in the healing house? Is he really your prince?
He is Prince Arundel, the son of our king and heir to the Elven crown. Therefore, yes, he is our king.
How the hell did he end up here?
Prince Arundel led a detachment of the Elven army sent to harass the Deadwalkers. And when he reached Bastion, he fell into an ambush. I got wind of this trap, but by the time I arrived, it was too late. When I caught up to the prince, he was already wounded, and most of his soldiers were dead. Those who survived covered our retreat.
To here?
Yes. The route to Carolthas was too dangerous. I knew about this village and felt that it would be secure for at least a little while. As soon as he gets better, we shall leave for Carolthas. The remainder of the human and elven armies are gathering there. That is where the final stage of the war will be played out.
You seem different from the other elves I've met. Where are you from?
Really? I seem different. And yet I have such pointy ears. And if you really want to know, I actually come from one of the most ancient and noble houses that exists. I'm even linked to the royal family. But I can assure you that I am sufficiently far down the line of succession to be in no danger of being crowned. And my reputation is no help either.
As far as bad reputations go, every mercenary has got one, so we're used to it.
Let's just say that I got into enough trouble to eventually be considered a traitor to my people. When I got involved in the war, I disagreed with decisions made by the king. He thought that this war, like so many others, would not last. That the conquests won by the Ice Lords would melt away like all the human victories before them had. But I thought differently. Right from the start of hostilities, I began to requisition certain resources I felt necessary for those doing the fighting. More food, more weapons, better armor. When my people discovered what I'd done, I was declared an outlaw, and many saw me as a thief, which, in a manner of speaking, I guess I was.
What a bunch of cowards. If they had listened to you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
I've been telling myself that for years, but I do understand their point of view. It is flawed, but not entirely thoughtless. They have had some time to prepare their forces and to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the Deadwalker army. This knowledge might allow us to turn the tide of the war, even if it does seem too little too late at this point.
Do you know these swamps?
I've been in this area long enough to have explored a fair amount of it, actually. The region is rather inhospitable, which I suppose is a good thing under the present circumstances.
A good thing? You're out of your mind.
These swamps are a labyrinth. The Deadwalker scouts will never be autonomous enough to find their way to the village by themselves.
That means we should be fairly safe for the moment. At least until a general or an Ice Lord comes to town.
Except that recently, there has been a change in these swamplands. And I must admit that I no longer feel safe at all.
What do you mean?
Something is affecting the swamplands, corrupting the vegetation and the animals. And I have no idea what it is. But anything that grows or lives here could become a threat. So I strongly recommend that you watch where you put your feet.
Let's change the subject. So is the prince doing any better?
He is still in a coma. He doesn't seem much better, no.
I'm going to talk with the Red Scribes, Doctor. He might know of a cure.
Thank you.
I'll leave you here.
As I understand it, some people are behaving even more stupidly than they normally do.
That's right. They have asked me to check it out.
Perfect. I'll come along with you.
Hang on. What is your interest in all of this? Is there something you're not telling me? What are you trying to prove by coming with me?
How perceptive, how brilliant.
Yeah, great. Just tell me what you know or think you know about all of this.
All right, but keep it to yourself for the moment. We don't want to start a panic, at least not until we're completely sure of ourselves. It seems to me that I recognize these symptoms, and if I am right, these people are possessed.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm not yet certain. We absolutely must inspect and investigate further in order to be sure. But I think the Deadwalker army is behind all of this.
All right, let's go.
Vulcan, for fuck's sake, what did you do to Aeolas?
I never laid a finger on him, Captain. But if you want my opinion, I think he screwed us over.
So you had to kill him? That was our fucking employer. Could you not take 2 goddamn seconds to think about that?
I didn't kill him. It was this woman, Edwin. She killed him.
That's what they told me. That doesn't change the fact that that dish rag of a scribe was our client. And your job was to protect him. If he was trying to fuck us over, it's up to me to deal with that. And for a starter, where did this wee tart that's spilling out of her dress come from?
She was his prisoner in the swamp. Looks like he was trying to get information out of her, which he obviously didn't give him, considering she's still alive.
All right, then. Maybe she can be of use to us. I already spoke with Aeolas's assistant. Seems he pulled the wool over their eyes as much as he did ours. They're petrified. So they've agreed to honor their contract with us. I need you to get this Edwin woman to talk. I want to know where she's from, who she is, who she works for. All of it. Watch out for the Red Scribes. We don't want to get fooled twice.
Understood, Captain. I'll check it out.
If you can find Hawk, Tell him to get his arse back here. I sent him out on a recon mission and he still hasn't come back.
Do you think something happened to him?
Well, there aren't any decent whorehouses around here, so yes, something may well have happened to him.
I'll find him, sir. Captain, I wanted to ask... Captain, have you had any news about Hawk?
Are you trying to be funny? I sent you to find him. Is that demon of yours eating away your tiny brain or what?
Captain, just fought a duel with Ranville, the guardian of the village. And before you start yelling about wasted energy, I want you to know that it was him that insisted on it. He's one hell of a fighter. He hits you like he was chopping down a tree, and he can take a blow and shake it off. He wants to join the Blades.
I have the feeling that every new recruit I take on these days is headed straight for the cemetery. But considering the losses we've suffered, I suppose I can't refuse. Bring him here to me. I'll check him out.
Have you heard about these villagers who were acting strange?
Yes, I've had reports about them. The whole thing stinks if you ask me. Take that one over there for example. The one giving me the fisheye. If we weren't stuck in this place, I'd go over there and put his lights out. I've asked Buffalo to keep an eye on them. If they start getting squirrely, he'll give us a heads up.
I'm leaving. The captain tells me you're keeping an eye on the villagers that are acting weird.
Yes. Look at them. You see that couple? Take a good look at the husband. I've seen livelier zombies. It's like he was dead inside. And they aren't the only ones. There must be at least half a dozen of them. But what bothers me is that if you look closely, you can see they're checking everything out.
But what's wrong with them?
No idea. They look like they're turning into deadwalkers, but the odd thing is how they're spread out. You see how they're placed? They can check out most of the village from where they are. I'm almost certain they're scouting the place out for someone. Since you seem interested, you should go and talk to them. Look, I've marked out their positions on the map.
See you later. Hello. You all right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Good day. Are you related to this man?
You might say that. Miliev is my husband. I'm called Nigella.
Well, do you know what's wrong with him? Have you noticed anything strange about him lately?
Well, of course I noticed. He's the one who's a vegetable, not me. Still, I must admit, it's been nice and peaceful.
How long ago did he change?
About 3 days ago. He went out hunting in the swamps. But when he come back empty-handed, he had that far-away look in his eyes.
Do you have any idea where he goes off to?
No, I've got no idea. Not down the tavern, and that's the main thing.
It doesn't bother you at all?